We're live now on YouTube.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to another fantastic episode of Sammies and Beer on this wonderful Thirsty Thursdays. If you are in the North Texas area, hopefully you are staying safe because I've heard that they're getting some fancy storms down there. Welcome with me as always, Thomas. Thomas, how are you on this beautiful Thursday?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. We're on Friday Eve and ready to roll. I'm excited for the podcast tonight.
Me too. We have a special little resource we're using today. Egg is going to be our man in the chair, or woman in the chair, or egg in the chair. We can ask her to look anything up that we have questions about, and she will text a response back. She is listening. It is on a delay, so we're going to have to work it. But for the most part, it's nice to have someone to answer our questions, our stupid questions,
Which most of them are.
I'd say so. Today is going to be a good day. We're talking about, not a controversial subject, but something that a lot of people have been talking about. There's a lot of strong opinions and viewpoints on it. We're talking about COVID. The vid. And all the things that come with it. Working from home, illness, treatment, the works. So, but before we get into it, we need to do our shots. We're doing 2 now, right?
Yeah, 1 for and 1 at.
1 for, 1 at. All right. So, my first shot, and I'll go first because you went first last time. It's only fair. My first shot, 4, is going to be actually to our not sponsor. One day I wish to be sponsored by them, but it's to the lovely Jack Daniels. Great taste, good feels, goes great with a Coke. I don't know. Look, man, my girlfriend's favorite liquor is Jack Daniels, and so that bottle has gotten me laid more times than I can fucking count. So I'm happy about it, and I love it. So here's to you, Jack. I'm not even shooting you because I want to do.
I was gonna say you just made a toast to Jack Daniels and then took a shot of vodka.
Yep.
Like you're so good. I didn't even want to taste you.
I wanted to savor you.
No Kool-Aid tonight?
Oh, Matt, don't be a rookie.
Oh. Is that a pickle jar?
It's your pickle jar. I drink out of them now. I ate all the fucking pickles, so I drink them.
All right. Well, my shot at is going to go related to our topic for the evening. And it's going to go to the people that were wearing masks when they were alone in their car or outside around nobody. I'm not going to get into my beliefs on masks, but you're in the car by yourself or you're outside. You don't need a fucking mask off. Take it off. Enjoy some fresh air. Cheers to you, bud. Fuck off.
I didn't wear a mask in the car.
And that was brought to you by Goldschlager.
Ugh. Bad memories with that one.
Did you just say you wore a mask in the car?
No, I said I never did.
Oh, I was going to say.
Actually, I didn't even really wear a mask even during the COVID deployment. I wore a neck gaiter and I just threw it up there.
It was funny. I actually had bought some gaiters and wore those. I bought them just because, like, when I'm mowing and stuff, I wanted just something to keep the dirt and stuff out of my nose, because otherwise you come in and you blow out dirt out of your nose for an hour.
Yep.
And so that's what I bought them. And then COVID hit, and I was like, oh, sweet, I've got these.
Free masks, baby. Well, it proved useful to get the neck gaiter, and I actually have it in my Facebook profile picture. You couldn't get a haircut, and I was, flying for COVID for my job. And military is very strict on hair regulations and stuff, but at that point you couldn't get one, so they were very lenient. And my hair got so long that to be in regs, I had to use my neck gaiter as a bandana to pull all the hair back. And it looked good. I'm not gonna lie, it looked pretty good. The sides were easy. Just get a.
Well, you could cut your own hair. Like, you could have just shaved it.
No, I'm not doing that. That was not.
Could have.
It was not an option. But so I did that, and I had a buddy of mine who just put me on a 1 on the side the whole time. So I was just fucking lines meaning it. It was great. I looked great. I was also skinny. Those were the days.
That they were.
COVID did make me fat. So because we're talking about COVID, this shot, and this one's going to be Jack Daniels because it's near and dear to my heart, goes to, I mean, obviously to everyone who was working at that time. I was working in the hospitals and stuff, you know. It sucked. It was actually super great at first because no one was coming into the hospitals because they were too afraid to get COVID. So it was kind of nice. But then it just kicked off. But my bigger, like more specifically, the kind of people that I really want to shout out to are all the RTs that were working. They were working double time, man, keeping people going, keeping events going. I know how to use the event, kind of, but those motherfuckers knew what they were doing, you know, and it's mad respect to them. I didn't really have a whole lot of respect for an RT before, you know, I'll be honest, but that completely changed my mind, my attitude towards them, how I treat them. They are the shit, and they know their shit, for the most part. So, here's to you, RTs. You even got the Jack.
For everybody who doesn't know, an RT is a respiratory therapist. Yes, and there's two types. There's a certified, and then there's a registered. Registered goes to school a little bit longer. But for those of you who are unaware of what RTs are.
And they know anything and everything to do with your lungs function, how to keep you alive, how to keep you breathing, even helping move to ECMO, which we talked about the last podcast.
Yep.
Which was the oxygenation of blood, you know.
And they do a lot of the CPR and stuff, too, or for coatings, correct?
No. They can.
No?
They can. Don't get me wrong, they can. But if you have to use an RT during a code for CPR, it's a pretty bad code. You don't have anybody there.
I was told by another nurse that I know that said specifically if somebody coded that they were told you don't do CPR and the RT will do it.
They must. I mean, so it depends on the hospital. Hospitals that I work at usually are like level 1s, right? And they're always teaching hospitals, usually. So we always have residents, trainees from, you know, SAMSI, techs, LVNs, CPAs, like everybody, you know, all these people who can't really participate in the code besides CPR. So
gotcha.
we typically rotate those ones out, and they get hands-on with the patient. You know, they really get to see everything. It just makes it easier. So they can't draw meds, they can't start a line. Some of them can get a BP though. Always manual. Yeah. So just for that, I've run codes before. If I was running a code, I would never use an RT for CPR unless I absolutely had to. There's no point. Their job is to be at the head to make sure the guy's breathing, you know?
Yeah.
And,
well, they all have to be, I mean, they have to be certified. Like,
oh, yeah.
You know, I placed them for work and, you know, they required, you know, ACLS, their advanced care life support, their...
Advanced cardiac life support, yep.
Yeah. I like to call it advanced care.
That's not what it's called, though.
I know.
It's not.
I was just explaining it because all we call it is ACLS, PALS... You know,
pediatric advanced life support,
yes,
which just is an offshoot. There's just so many certs you can get, so many certs in healthcare. It's a lot, but we're not here to just talk about healthcare. We're here to talk about COVID and
well, I've got my shot 4. So my shot 4 is also going to be related to the COVID topic. My shot is for all of the healthcare workers who stood their ground, stood up for what they believed in, and subsequently lost their jobs because they refused to take the COVID vaccine. The information, I think, has come out now where you made a great decision for yourself and was probably not an easy decision. And so this shot's for you for standing up for your rights. Cheers to you.
I didn't have a choice.
But there was a lot of people who, I mean,
if you had the choice, stand up for what you believe in.
But I'm saying that's a tough choice to make, though. Like, a choice between your livelihood. I mean, it's not like they were making pennies on the dollar. They were making good money.
Yeah. And
working through all that for that long. And, you know, it was a decision that they made. And I think it was a difficult decision for them. And I applaud them for it. And I would have applauded them even if it came out now that it was the exact opposite of what the answers that we've gotten out.
It's a
because
decision.
You stood up for your. But I don't think it's easy to stand up for your decision when you're getting that much pressure and putting your livelihood on the line.
That is true. That it's something to be respected, the resolve to do so. And I knew a bunch of people who didn't do it in the military. They were getting kicked out. They did get kicked out. I think they got put back though. It's weird. It's a weird process. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, as a military member, I didn't have a choice. Essentially, I still don't have a choice for the flu. Like I have to get it every year. You know, typhoid, fucking all this shit, all this fucking bullshit. But I mean, you can clearly see that I don't care what I put in my body. So
yeah, yeah. So
what I want to talk about, what I really want to get into today, is the change of corporate America in regards to working from home. So now you yourself are a person who benefited from working from home. I like to think you're happier, your kids are happier because they see you more.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely made my life easier and made it, better for sure. I love working from home. There's definitely things that I miss about being in an office. Like, I definitely see the pros and cons to both sides.
Well, so I've never really worked in an office, right? I've always done medical work. So what are the pros? Because all I see is media about how offices suck, how you have to with the water cooler and Janet with her talking about her kids. What are the pros?
Yeah, there's definitely plenty of cons. But one, if I didn't have a family and we didn't get online and play video games, I would have zero social interaction.
That's true.
You meet a lot of people, and you have a lot of one-off conversations with people that you probably wouldn't normally connect with. I connected with a lot of people that normally would not be anywhere in the wheelhouse of people that I would have a day-to-day conversation with, which can be good and bad. There's definitely plenty of people at work that I've had conversations with where I'm just going, I'm going to go look at the fog just so I can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. No, yeah. Now imagine working with those people, but on an ambulance or on a flight where they're the only person you have to talk to for 12 hours.
I can stay quiet for quite a while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's why I like my last partner. He said maybe 3 sentences to me that weren't work-related the whole time. Best fucking partner I've ever had.
It's a Ron Swanson comment right there.
It was amazing. No talking. It was 3 a.m. I look at him. He's just on his phone playing some game. I was like, all right, I'm going to your call. And I'll just start driving. And he's just like, okay. And that's it. Just fucking, man after my own heart.
But then, we'd also do fun stuff, like we would go out for happy hours, once every couple of weeks and stuff like that, where now if you want to go out for a happy hour, you schedule in advance and, there's work that has to go into it as opposed to walking over to 3 people's desks and be like, hey, you want to go get beers after work?
Going to Grant's desk specifically.
Grant, yeah. Well, there was other people. There was a big group of us that used to go out and get drinks.
That's nice. I gotta say that's nice. Yeah.
And it was nice for me, especially because I had, a wife and kids. And so I would go out and I would just have 1 or 2 beers. I wasn't, one of the guys that went out and had 10 beers and then it turned into a party night, which there was plenty of guys that it did.
Which,
but,
if that's what they want.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with it.
I can respect it. I had my party days,
Yeah.
I still do sometimes.
And then the biggest thing that I miss was there was always, we would do potlucks about once a month.
Oh, yeah.
And the company that I worked for was great. They would cater. They had a really good coffee machine. It would make mochas, lattes, cappuccinos. You just put in your coffee, pressed a button, and it made everything for you. So that was a really fancy coffee machine. But then they also provided snacks. So we would get deliveries once a week of fresh fruit. They would keep us stocked on fruit snacks, granola bars, just all sorts of stuff like that.
And let's talk about that real quick. That's a morale booster. I get it. We use them in the military all the time. I am for my unit. I'm actually the guy that does all the barbecues. They asked me for this weekend. I told them no, I'm busy. But typically, if we do something, I'll be the one that's on the grill making whatever burgers, chicken, fajitas, because we live in Texas, right? Half of my unit's Mexican. The white people are the minority in my unit.
I don't know why we got to bring race into it, but all right, let's go with that.
Because it is. So like we would do these. We still do. We do these cookouts, and it does make a difference. It lets coworkers talk to each other in a more informal setting, and it's good. But also, companies now that a lot of people are working from home can no longer do things like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where. What do they do? Well, for you, I think like a Christmas party or something, but even then that's only so much, whereas you saw them providing for you small things that really didn't cost them that much money. Big scene or big picture.
Yeah,
so
they will do a lot of little stuff for us now that we moved home. Like I think yesterday was Employee Appreciation Day or something like that, and so they gave us the option. They sent me a link and said, hey, pick out your gift card, and I could get either a $25 Amazon, DoorDash, or Uber.
Nice.
And I could pick out a $25 gift card. And, I think their thought behind it was, okay, if you live in an area with DoorDash or Uber, we're going to buy you lunch. Here's $25. Order yourself some lunch. And it was funny because I actually looked and I was, oh, maybe I should get the Amazon. I'm always buying shit on Amazon. And then I kind of went selfish with it. And I was like, you know what? I'm getting a DoorDash one. And one day I'm just going to order myself a fucking baller lunch from somewhere. I'm going to get it delivered. I'm going to show up to the door in my underwear. And I'm going to fucking eat a feast of $20.
You see, well, you just build up the cards, right? Build up the fucking cards. And just, like, you've got enough to get, like, steak and lobster delivered to your house, like, in a platter. The dude's like, what the fuck is this? The DoorDasher's going to eat it. And he's going to be like, fuck you, dude.
You actually got lost.
Yeah. Just like, But, yeah, I mean, it's hard.
Stuff like that. And, there was, when I was recruiting, there was, like, Recruiter Appreciation Day, and they send us treats. Like, this one time I got this brownie, and it was seriously this big. So and weird. I felt like such a fatty because everybody on the team's like, oh my god, this is like a four meal brownie or 4 snack brownie, and I'm like, oh, I ate all mine this afternoon. It was such like, I'm like, what do you mean this is a 4 meal brownie? And I talked to my other buddy, and yeah, I ate that thing all in one day.
It's like getting a family pack of chips and just.
Yep.
Half of it's gone. I'm like, oh, not really. Or I'll you know what? Specifically, the family meals at McDonald's. It's like feeds family of 4, feeds Thomas of 1.
Yeah, like a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese made for a family of 4.
Oh yeah,
no. For me,
and I add shit to that. I add hot dogs, ham, like I had a bunch of shit to it. Mashed potatoes, like
and. Sorry, go ahead.
Wow. No, I just want to talk 1 second, bring it up, that you say what you exactly just said, right?
Uh-huh.
A lot. I have picked up on it, and I say it all the fucking time now.
Lo siento.
Okay, continue. Shit.
There is also a lot of good things that come like work-wise though as well, like training new people. Things like that are a lot harder on a virtual setting.
That's true, I think.
But I also think it can be a good thing for companies because you can out bad people real fucking quick.
I could see that. I could see that being a thing.
Like it's kind of a double-edged sword, and I probably need to be careful with how I say it. Like, if you're good at your job, you can get away with a lot more now because of working in a remote environment. Because there's nobody that's going to be watching you all the time. When you're in an office, there's somebody constantly over your shoulder. There's somebody focusing, there's people walking by, there's coworkers, all that fun stuff. If I spend 3 hours on my phone in the somebody probably is going to notice.
Which actually, so this conversation topic was sprouted by my mother because she is getting a lot of new coworkers in our workspace. She's a financial advisor for a big realtor company, and she notices that a lot of these people can't work without either having Netflix going, being on their phone, just something else going on, which I get, right? Like, I've done some work from home stuff, and I like to have something going on in the background so I'm not lonely. But she's noticed that it's a big distraction for a lot of these people. It's actually pulling them away from work.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's as much of a distraction as you let it be.
Correct.
I mean, it's kind of like, it's like if you're hanging out with your kids, do you have your phone out? Are you watching Netflix? Or are you hanging out with your kids?
Mm-hmm.
When you're working, are you hanging out on Netflix? Are you playing on your phone? Or are you working? Like, you need to be working. And that's where it's gotten a lot more lenient on some of that stuff, to where, like, when I sit down to work, I sit down and work and I get my shit done.
Yeah.
And I focus. I don't have TV on. And even if I do have a show on or something like that, I will all of a sudden look up and be like, oh shit, I'm 2 episodes past where I last remember I looked at it.
Yeah.
Just because when you get into that focus. So yeah, I understand exactly what your mom's talking about, because it was a lot easier, but it's just a habit. It's something that people have to break if they want to be successful in their jobs.
Well, and it does depend on the person, because my mother is successful in her career, right? And she does have technically a distraction going at all times. She has her AirPods in, one in at all times, and it's an audiobook that she's already listened to before.
Yeah. That's what I do. I usually watch shows that I've already watched before. Like, I don't watch new shows while I'm trying to work, because
distract you.
Or you can watch shows like if you haven't seen Parks and Recs, you could watch Park and Recs, because you're not gonna, if you miss 3 episodes and then you come in on the 4th one, you're not gonna be like, oh my god, what happened?
Exactly.
Versus Game of Thrones, you miss 3 episodes and you come in and you'll be like, wait,
everybody's dead.
He was Theon Greyjoy. Who the fuck is Reek? What is going on?
Why is Jon Snow on a dragon? Yeah,
exactly. So that's where you really have to. If you want to be successful doing it, you have to pick and choose your battle. Like, I get it. I like to have background stuff on, and like, I can't even do like podcasts, because I'll find myself listening to them too much and not focusing on work, or focusing too much on work, and then I come back and I'm like, I wasn't listening to this, and I want to, and they're talking about something, and then I have to rewind, and so it's yeah.
And it's just to re-encompass, working from home is both a positive and negative thing, just like with everything else. Some people can do it, some people can't, and that's fine. I don't think I can do it. I did it for I think a month, when I was putting in all those patient reports, and I was going fucking crazy. I just didn't like it. I like working, doing stuff with my hands. I like physically going to work.
It wasn't necessarily the work that you were doing from home.
I don't think there's any work that I could do from home that I would enjoy.
So if you were a professional caterer and you did all your cooking from,
I guess that's fair. I do like cooking. I do love to cook.
Or if you were built cabinets and you're working with your hands all day building cabinets. I bet you'd enjoy doing something like that from home. Like, you had a wood shop in your backyard. You went out to your backyard and you built shit.
That'd be kind of cool, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Because if you think about it, people have really been working since the beginning of time. Everybody was a farmer, and farmers work from home.
Actually, everyone was a hunter and gatherer. So you got the hunters and you got the gatherers, man. Which one are you?
What are gatherers?
Yeah. Do you realize like the first farmers were actually probably women? Because they were gatherers. So it was actually a paper that I read in college. It's like the women of that society, of all ancient, not all of them, but most ancient societies, there was men and women, generals, blah, blah, blah. They went and gathered while the men went and hunted animals. and they would frequently remember where certain things were growing, and then it's the justification that women were probably the ones to figure out how to plant seeds and have a continuous growth. And it was really cool to see. It's something you didn't think about.
Yeah, you don't have to explain to me that women are probably the smarter of the two sexes.
It's not probably. It's not probably. It's true.
Oh, yeah.
And then also, so our last few segments were really good when we did hypothetical questions.
Or are we done talking about COVID? I mean, we're
we're
early,
but
I'll say.
I want to bring up that we will be doing that later, and then
we
have Egg in the chair for when we need her, because these questions are going to be stupid. I got them off Reddit. They're not going to be great.
Reddit's where it's at.
Alcoholism has increased with COVID.
Yeah, I 100% believe that. I know mine has. I used to hardly ever drink.
Me too. Yeah.
No.
Actually, no, I drink a bit.
Well, I'm talking me in my 30s. When I was 21 through 25, I spent a lot of money at the bar. But after kids and stuff like that, I wasn't and I'll be honest, I hardly drink unless I get on and am in socially interacting with people my computer and stuff.
Yeah, I have to be talking to someone. I don't like just taking shots by myself when I'm...
Yeah, my wife doesn't drink that often. We typically don't drink together. She'll have a drink, and I'm more of if I'm gonna drink, I'm
oh yeah, no, you can't
I'm not drinking for taste. If I wanted taste, there's a lot of other things that I would choose.
I'd rather drink.
And alcohol probably wouldn't be in there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Jack or Crown or whatever whiskey or vodka or anything I'm putting in my Coke is not improving the taste. It's improving my mood.
Yes. That Always Sunny episode where it's just oh, you know what I had the other night? It's just what? A mixer. You had straight mixer last night? Yeah. It was pretty good.
Where they went on the cruise?
Yeah.
God, that show was so amazing for the first 5 seasons. They really took a dip for a few, and then they came back.
They did.
And really, I think they're on 14 seasons now.
They're still going. They're the new Seinfeld.
I will say the best thing that they ever did was when they had Mac, he gained weight just to be funny.
Yeah.
He put on a lot of weight just to be funny.
Good show. It's a good show.
And it's got the most amazing character in the world, Dan.
Charlie Day.
Charlie is
the most amazing character in the world.
Is Charlie or is Frank Reynolds?
He's great, Charlie. In my most humble opinion, I love Charlie Day. He can be in anything. I'll watch it.
The actor himself?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's a good actor.
He just gets me. He gets me right here.
He's a funny fucking dude.
He is.
I loved him in the one where he was a teacher, I think, and he did the dance with his daughter.
With his daughter. I don't fuck with you? Yeah. No,
yeah.
I get it.
It is really interesting though, with COVID, and obviously we're talking about a setting that, but how it affected, it almost made people more aware of their rights, which I think was a fucking amazing thing.
So let's talk about something real quick. For COVID, I have our woman in the chair right now feeding me information. So for COVID, this has been the largest consumption increase in alcohol in the last 50 years. It increased in 2020 by 2.9%. But it suggests that the increase was actually from people who increased their alcohol consumption rather than an increase in population. So drinkers drank more, not more people started drinking.
Okay.
So, in which alcoholics make up a very big portion of alcohol sales, which, yeah, is fair.
Cocaine users make up a big portion of cocaine sales.
That's fair. And the contributing factors, the biggest ones were stress and anxiety from the scenario. But a 2.9% increase doesn't sound like a lot, but over millions of people, that's a lot. That's a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, it is, but isn't. I honestly would probably.
You didn't come through for any of that ending.
I actually would have thought that number would have been.
I would have thought too, honestly. But a 2.9% is a lot. It's more than what you think it is.
I think it's less than what you think it is.
I think it's more. A whole percent over an entire population is a lot.
See, I guess we really don't know what exactly like we're talking about when we say like alcohol consumption increased by 2.9%. Because if I went from having 1 drink a week to having 2 drinks a week, and that's a 2.9% increase, that's not a big increase in my opinion.
But across millions of people, that's a lot of alcohol, man.
I mean, like I said, I know that I personally made a big increase in my alcohol consumption.
Oh yeah, I did for like the portion of the city I live in.
When my kids, when we go to Costco, my kids point out which vodka I drink and grab it for me because they know when I'm running out.
That's good kids, is what that is.
I mean, look who pays attention to dad. I appreciate them for that.
Yeah, I think having a healthy respect and relationship with alcohol is important.
It is.
It's a respect for it because it can kill you. As we know, lots of things can kill you. And I think your kids having a healthy respect for it as well is a big deal. I know I did growing up. I had a big respect for it because my parents drank, but they didn't drink like a ton. They didn't drink as much as I do now, but I had a respect for it.
I had a really weird experience with alcohol growing up. My dad was an alcoholic and went to AA, and like my mom went to Al-Anon meetings and a lot of different stuff that really, a lot of things that my parents pushed on me. Like my dad's like, yeah, you're one of the big reasons that I got sober the second time because I was hiding my alcohol in a Coke can and we were at this place and you ran up and wanted a drink of my Coke and I had to slap it out of your hand because it was filled with fucking Jack Daniels. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't know how that's my good or bad on me, but I mean,
Jesus, yeah, no.
So, like, there was never alcohol in my house or anything like that growing up.
Really?
And so it was kind of weird then when you obviously knew that it was the forbidden fruit. And so, yeah, when it was time, yeah,
before it was time.
And I think we're really getting off topic.
I don't think we are. I think we're talking about exactly what we need to talk about.
I think it's super healthy for kids to understand and see how their parents drink, as long as your parents aren't taking to extremes.
Yes.
Like I generally try not to get blacked out drunk in front of my kids. I
don't think you ever have. At least
I don't
that
think I have either.
Yeah. Like, it's just drink responsibly, right? Don't
drink responsibly, but then you're teaching them to drink responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one thing, like, you'll never hear me say that I think Europe is better. The UK is better than us in anything, because they're fucking not.
They're not.
Fuck you if you say they are.
Britain became the best sailors in the world for a fucking reason, all right?
Yeah, to get the fuck out of there.
Have you seen their women and their food? I'd fucking leave too.
But I think they have one thing right. We're allowing their children to drink.
Yes.
Because I think teaching your kids how to drink right is an important thing, and show them the social aspects of it, because whether we like it or not, it's going to be in their face. There's going to be people doing it. There's going to be people pressuring them to do it. It's going to be all around them. So teaching them to do it responsibly is a super important thing.
Which is a thing my parents did. I was allowed to drink at functions and parties when I was older, obviously, not when I was like 8. But in high school, if I wasn't going anywhere, if I was staying and having fun at the party, I could have a couple beers with my dad.
Yeah.
He was cool with it. He didn't care. And
I think that's important.
Yeah, I would. I wouldn't go crazy. I wouldn't get blackout. I wouldn't take shots. I'd just have a couple beers, recognize the feeling, and go from there. My brothers did me the biggest favor when I was 17. They got me shit-faced. They got my brothers got me fucked up when I was a teenager, and it taught me, first of all, what happens when you get that to that point, like the sickness, the spins, all of it. And then it taught me, this is your limit. Here's the line. Don't fucking cross it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're important things to learn. Because there's plenty of people that don't learn that stuff. Pay the price.
They do. Actually, speaking of that, Egg did throw another item out at us. Death from alcohol consumption jumped 25.5% between 2019 and 2020.
That wasn't COVID.
Well, 2020 is COVID, so from the start of COVID.
You said 2019 to 2020.
As in, oh yeah.
The years 2019?
Yeah.
Or from the beginning of 2019 until 2020?
It just says from 2019 to 2020.
So I'm guessing she means the whole year. The year of 2019 versus the year of 2020.
Yeah, I think so.
It jumped by how much?
The two. 25.5%. Actually, 3 different cases of people who passed away because of alcohol consumption when COVID first hit. I know of them. I'm not personally for them,
but that's the lockdowns. 100%.
Oh yeah. Don't get me started on the lockdowns. Yeah.
Why? This is the time to talk about it.
I guess that's fair. I do believe...
Get started on it. There's no better time to have this conversation.
I do believe
than here and now.
Certain at-risk populations should have locked down. Elderly,
100%.
Kids weren't affected by it, so not kids. Let those brats go. People with autoimmune diseases, people who this could kill should stay down. Everyone else would have been fine. I mean, you're still going to lose people.
Everyone else was fucking fine.
Well, I've seen in the hospitals, you still lose people. Healthy CrossFit trainers that caught it, and their body couldn't handle it. But that's the risk you.
But aren't there healthy CrossFit trainers that died of the flu too?
Yeah, 100%. It's not. It's. But knowing the risk, right? Knowing the risk of you could go out, get it, and die. You could go out, get it, and just shit your brains out, because that was a symptom. Shitting your brains out.
Yeah.
Or not taste anything, So
the not tasting anything was super fucking.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
I did. It was more weird and annoying than like the first time I noticed it. We were actually eating McDonald's, and I was eating fries, and all I could taste was fucking oil, and I'm like, why do I not taste anything but oil?
It's weird.
And then I started eating other things, and I'm like, I don't have taste. And this was when we had met for the first time. And it was an interesting.
It sounds awful.
It really was. And there's I've talked to people who went through it who lost their sense of taste and smell for a fucking year. That would be the most miserable year of not being able to taste and smell anything for a fucking year.
I don't eat because I'm hungry. I eat because I like chewing and tasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, we got thrown another stat. Now, this is a bit of a different one, though, because it's not something we could both personally relate to. But the number of deaths with a combination of alcohol and opioid use is up 40%. And 59 from fentanyl.
Yeah. I have a cousin who passed away from fentanyl.
It's bad, right? It's an epidemic right now.
Yeah, and yet we don't lock down for that.
Because that's not a pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just... COVID kind of fucked everything up for us.
Yes and no. I think there was a lot of really bad... I think there was a lot of businesses that got hurt. There was a lot of people that lost a lot. But other than material things, I think some people really wised up during this. I think there was a lot of people that kind of became awake to kind of what my shot was to their rights.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
I was actually having this conversation with my son this afternoon because I don't remember what we were talking about, something that happened at school. But like, your right for the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, your freedom of speech, your freedom of religion, your freedom not to take a fucking vaccine. Like, I know that's not directly written in there. And you know what? Number 2 is to fucking protect it all.
No, I like number 2. Number 2 is my favorite.
Well, number 1 can go away if you don't have number 2. That's why it's number 2.
You should actually say what your political view is, because you put it in the most eloquent way possible when we first met.
What's that? I don't.
You don't really care about politics. You just want your gay friends to be able to protect their weed farm
with guns. Yep. That's it. Like,
yeah.
My political view. I've come to find out is what
I'm a libertarian. For all of that. You cut up for every bit of that.
I tried to turn my mic down. Maybe I'll turn it back up.
Well, don't do that.
I just noticed last week when I was listening, I was super loud, and you guys were more quiet.
You can turn us up on your end, and that might help. That could be where it comes from.
I just have to figure out where you come from. Can you talk for a second?
I'm talking and talking and talking and talking. Talking. Check 1 2 testes. Test 1 2 testes.
Yeah, I don't.
Testes.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's fine. We'll work it out. Work it out in post.
But what I've come to find out is that I don't want the government involved in our lives. Like, I think you and I and everybody else should have the right to do things. And especially now in like our technology-based world and cancel culture and all of that with the mad mob, we can really start governing ourselves. Like, I don't see a ton of need for so many of our politicians and people wasting our time and resources and money on stupid shit. And, like, everybody's like, well, we should have government run. We want the government to run this or run that. And it's like, why? So they can fucking be corrupt and steal all of our money and give it to their fucking buddies? I think people will do a better job.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe that's just the naive side of me, and I work for a really good company who, when we were doing really well, I know I do. Mm-hmm. But when we were doing really well, they were giving money back to us. We were getting bonuses and things like that. So I tend to think that people, it's kind of a weird take on this, because I tend to try and I try to think the best of people, but it's super weird because I don't fucking trust anybody.
Me either.
Like, I actually wanted to have a topic about that, on how much you trust people and what you would trust them with, I think we should have that for a topic for another.
That's actually a great idea. I have some stuff to say about that for sure.
But I think there was some good things where people really woke up and realized a lot of things. Plus, we got the fucking Tiger King out of COVID too. So
we got some good things out of COVID. We got TikTok. That
yeah.
Into prominence.
Yeah.
But it has its good and its bads. It was what it was. It was handled poorly, in my opinion.
Oh, extremely poorly.
I'm ready to rise up whenever you are. I got the guns. So just let me know, like the beacons.
They got the guns, we got the number.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll ever be another American.
No, there won't.
We will never overthrow the government, no matter how bad they get. And you know why? Everybody has it too fucking good, right?
Oh yeah.
Everybody.
We do.
even our poorest of poor people have it good right now. Not, I can't say good,
Better than any other time in history.
but better than any other time in history.
I can go buy a toilet that'll wipe my own ass for me. And not even for that much money.
I've kind of thought about. There's a toilet seat that you can get for like $200 that fucking shoots that stream of water. It's heated.
Hey, baby. Have you ever done one?
I have.
Oh, it's nice.
There's a gas station in Lincoln City, Nebraska.
I don't know if I trust a gas station today.
I tell you what, this is the best gas station to stop to. Lincoln City, Nebraska, because when we come down to Texas, which usually at least once a year, this is where we go. We go a little bit west on this, and then we take a highway to cut so we don't have to go through Kansas City. And we stop at this gas station every time. And you know, as a dude, when you go into a bathroom and you got to take a fucking deuce, stalls fucking suck. Why in the fuck do we invent stalls that leave a foot of fucking ground at the bottom and a foot of ground or up to the ceiling? Why the fuck can't we just build a room?
It's cheaper.
Like, you've built a room. Is it really that much cheaper?
Kind of, I guess. Or it's just I don't know. I don't know.
Well, this gas station said, fuck you, fuck the norms, and you have your own little room to shit in.
Just like Buc-ee's, baby.
It's fucking glorious. And you go in, you sit down, they've got heated seats with a bidet.
I don't know if I could do heated seats.
It's a little odd.
Just makes me feel like someone just sat there.
But it's also
cold toilet seat.
But you know that you're doing it because you'll sit down and it'll be cold, and then you turn it on and it.
Oh, I can go for that then. That's different.
So, if you're ever traveling through Nebraska and you're in Nebraska City, stop at the gas station. Best fucking shit you'll ever have.
What's it called?
I don't know.
Have to stop at the gas station, Nebraska City, everybody.
When you get off the interstate in Nebraska City, you're going either north or south. You're going to head west, and it's going to be on the left-hand side of the highway right when you get off the interstate. It's the best way I can have to describe it.
Okay. Or just go to a Buc-ee's. They also have private bathrooms. They're great.
With heated seats and bidets?
No, but it's close enough.
And really, like, fuck Buc-ee's. Like, they're the
Fuck you. Buc-ee's is great. Brisket's good.
They are not that great.
They're good.
They're
Tell me
okay.
one bad thing about Buc-ee's. There's nothing bad about Buc-ee's. You want a soda? All the sodas are there. You want a Slurpee? 15 different flavors. Private bathrooms, right? Just like you described.
I don't want to reach my fucking step goal trying to get to the bathroom.
It's so you can buy stuff that's really cool. All the snacks.
It's not.
Yeah,
I don't buy shit at gas stations.
I do.
I don't.
Brisket
Do you
sandwich
go
from Buc-ee's? Oh, yeah.
Do you go to gas stations often and buy shit?
Yeah.
I don't ever.
Because I am for work on EMS. All the time it's the only thing that's open.
I fucking hate paying more for shit than what I know I can get it elsewhere for cheaper.
You're paying for
So I
convenience.
fucking hate it. Yeah, I fucking hate that shit.
All right. We're at 48 minutes, and I do have some questions for you.
Some questions or some would you rather?
It's not would you rather. Well, they're kind of. All right, so we're going to talk about jerking off for a second.
Ooh.
All right, so would you still do it if when you did it, all of your semen was just one big sperm, right? It came out. You're fine, but it came out. Like, it came out and it pooled together. It became like one big sperm. Let's say about this big. And you had to fight it.
Yeah.
You still would?
Yeah,
No.
I mean.
I actually might do it more,
That's-
actually.
So basically, what you're saying is I have a small baby sperm and I have to fight it?
Every
Yeah,
time.
I can fight it. I can fight a baby.
Okay,
Like-
but would you
Yeah, I keep a hammer right next to me.
finish?
See- You do something like that though, and then you're gonna get people to talk. You know, you're killing babies, and so yeah, it's a weird question, but yes, I would probably still do.
All right. So, okay, that's good. I probably would still. Like I said, I do it more. Gives me an extra bit of entertainment. So here's another hypothetical.
I would save them all and then create a sperm baby fight club.
Everybody bet. You just start going. It's just like, why is that one so much bigger than the other ones? Ah, he's Norwegian.
I didn't jerk off for 3 weeks for that bastard.
So gross. I love it. This one's a good one. So you're stranded on a deserted island, right? But you're stranded with a mermaid. Would you rather have her be top fish, bottom female, or top female, bottom fish?
Top female bottom fish.
Damn, you just went for it. You're not gonna be able to talk to her.
Huh?
You're not gonna be able to talk to her.
I said top female bottom fish. That's what I said.
I thought you said the other one. I think I was hoping you would say that.
No, I don't want to have a fucking fish walking around on legs. Like, no, that would be weird as fuck. Like, even if the fish could talk, it'd still be fucking weird, and I'd want to fight it.
This one's gonna be a big one, and I'm really curious as to what you're gonna say. You and your significant.
Hold on. You need to answer this last one. You going?
Oh, top person. Just
okay.
The biggest thing about being stranded is actually having someone to talk to. So, and blowjobs still exist. So,
well, that's kind of what I was thinking. I'm like, you can still talk and you can still give me a blowjob. So, like,
good enough. So you and your significant other switch bodies, right? You are in her mind, controlling her body. She's in yours, controlling your body. And the only way to reset is to have sex. Would you do it?
I mean, yeah, obviously I'd want to get back, but it would be like, that's one thing that's always like kind of weirded me out is like, and how I knew that I didn't like dudes, because the thought of being penetrated has always creeped me the fuck out. Like what? That's, I'm going to get really weird with this for a minute, but like, vaginas really fucking weird me out. Like, you just have a hole in you?
You have a hole in you.
I do.
You have a lot.
But nothing goes in any of my holes other than food. And one of my holes doesn't get wet when I get excited.
I don't know. Sometimes I've gotten so excited I've shit myself, so one of them kind of does.
Really?
Oh, yeah. You gotta remember that.
Why are your shits wet?
Do you not know how I eat? Like, it's just... I think I have a solid shit once a week.
You should start taking Pepto-Bismol.
Just start drinking it. Just casually drinking Pepto.
But yeah, like that, I don't know. It would be a really weird time.
Oh yeah. I mean, the first thing you do is obviously gotta see what it's like.
Oh, of course.
And go get free drinks at a bar.
Obviously. Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. If I turned into a girl, I'm going to be a fucking...
No, you switch bodies with your significant other.
Oh, yeah, then I'd get tons of free drinks.
There you go. So, my last one that I kind of have, that's...
What about you? I mean, would you?
Oh, absolutely. Have you seen how handsome I am? No problem. Anyways,
that would be another weird thing of like being fucked by yourself.
By yourself? Is it? It's like kind of like jerking it a little bit. I already know what my wiener's like.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you'd be super disappointed in yourself afterwards.
Well, I wouldn't be lying for. Oh shit!
Like, oh, I'm not good at this. I thought I was. She's been faking the whole time.
That would be awful. That would be awful. My last one. Okay, my last one's weird.
I think that makes it better. You have to have sex
with yourself
to completion.
Oh, both people, both completion.
Both completion.
Oh. That would be
that.
That would be hard. That would be really hard. And okay.
I don't know how to take what you just said. Like, there's a lot of questions I have right now.
I
Do both people not?
I handle it, but you have to remember, and I've researched this a lot, is that females are more emotionally and mentally driven to finish than males are. And not all of them are like that, right? But a lot of them are. And so you have to get in that headspace, and you're being fucked by a dude trying to get in that headspace.
Well,
did you see where I went there?
Yeah, like, because you're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see what I mean now? That's where I went with it.
Well, that'd be real.
That's where I was.
Whew.
I'm like, oh, you tried to get in that headspace and just getting railed by yourself.
Does that make you gay then?
If you finish, I think it kind of does.
Like, so to switch back, you become gay.
A little bit. You're like a few days go by and you're like, whatever. And then you just start thinking about it. And you're like,
I need to turn my penis into a vagina. I just became a tranny.
There you go. That's how it starts.
It's...
All right. So here's a scenario. And this actually did happen to me. And I want to know what your answer is. Okay?
Okay.
I was at Walmart. I had just eaten chicken nuggets, I think. And as you know, no gallbladder fucked with my stomach. And I went into the stall. There was only one stall. And I blew that shit up. Painted the toilet, right? Just fucking lit it up. And I look, and there's no toilet paper. What do you do at that point? And then I have a follow-up.
Well, typically, I usually have socks on.
You quit straight from the socks.
Oh, yeah, instantly. I will not be wearing socks anymore. Because as shitty of a person as I am, I'm going to pray that sock flushes, and if it doesn't, I'm still fucking walking out the same speed.
So I took it a step further, and I knew there was no one in there, so I kind of like pulled my shorts up and had like my ass hanging out, right? Mm-hmm. And I went for paper towels, because most bathrooms have paper towels.
That's going to be fucking rough on that asshole.
There wasn't any paper towels.
Ooh, that's a double fail.
So I went the sock route, but I threw the socks in the trash can.
Yeah?
I thought that was going to be funnier than it was, but you were just like, oh, well, there goes my socks. You were just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's just what you got to do. I mean, I would be willing to walk out of that back shirt on at that point. Like, you know. It's I find it so funny how embarrassed we are to shit. Like, every one of us. There's not a person alive that hasn't shit. And there's probably a lot of people that haven't shit themselves within the last 10 years. And I don't care what age you are.
You're going to do it.
You've probably shit yourself within the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we're all so embarrassed and so secretive. Like, I don't know if I want to... I'm not going to go down this road.
Okay. I mean, people are embarrassed.
They are. They're super embarrassed by it, which I find just super weird. Like, it's such a natural thing. Like, when we go fishing, I carry a roll of toilet paper in my backpack, my fishing backpack, in case one of my kids needs to take it while we're out fishing.
Well, that's nice of you. Just have them pop over the boat.
No, we're fishing on land.
Oh.
But, I mean, who wants to use a fucking leaf if you've got toilet paper?
That's fair.
And it's really easy to bring a roll of fucking toilet paper somewhere. A half a roll. You just grab a halfie.
Just one that's in the bathroom and like in the guest bathroom. Yeah. Just take that one.
Yeah, you just fold it in half and you got fucking... I mean, it's not like you're... I don't need a full roll where I need to fucking have 8 people shit with it.
Maybe I need a full roll.
Well, maybe you do. But sometimes you got to shit outside. It's all right. It used to be one of the things I hated. We'd go like hunting and shit, like hunting, and we'd get up at fucking 4:00 in the morning and trudge out to our stand in the bumfuck cold. And I'm a morning shitter.
I'm
and
also a
fucking
morning shitter.
6:30, 7:00 rolls around, and I'm like, we've been sitting here for. I got a fucking deuce. So I learned to carry fucking toilet paper with me.
Smart. That's a good skill to have.
Learning to carry toilet paper with you?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can call that a skill.
It's a skill. It's learned too.
It's not.
It's a skill. It's an important skill because I wish I had done that sometimes. I have taken many shits in woods.
Yeah.
It was not great. One time I got stung by a bunch of wasps. You've heard.
Why don't you tell it? Why don't you tell us that story?
So I was, and there's, obviously I can't go into too many details, but I was in a survival school for the military, and you do a lot of time outside. Obviously, it's survival school, and at this point, it had been a couple days of eating MREs.
Wait, you don't do survival school inside?
No.
No, that's weird.
It's not PowerPoints anymore. So we were in the field for a few days, and I had just been eating MREs, and anyone who eats MREs knows that it kind of stops you up. It's like the whole point of it. And then I at that point...
We don't want our warriors out on the field having to shit their brains out.
That's true. I was out of food, so I was eating what I could find, and it didn't agree with me. So the first shit that I took while we were traveling was just like a rock, and just good. But I didn't realize then, but that was the plug. I was holding back the floodgates, and I was like every couple hours from there... had to shit. But at one point, I found like the perfect log, right? It was like a bench, and it was just the perfect thing to sit on for just a decent shit. And I was like really happy. Like it was beautiful out. It was mid-afternoon. I was in nature. I was hungry, so I was a little loopy. And I took a shit, and it was a pretty bad one. But what I didn't realize is that I was shitting on a ground hornet nest. And so I got swarmed by ground hornets, which they didn't get a lot of me because I had a lot of clothes on because it was pretty cold outside, but they definitely got my ass. And ever since then, if I hear like buzzing behind me or anything like that, it just freaks me out.
Did you get stung on your butthole?
Not on the hole.
Okay, that'd
Just
be
the
fucking...
cheek. The meat.
The cheek? Like, what part of the cheek? Like, towards the butthole or outer butt cheek?
One was towards the butthole on the crack, so that one really hurt because it was...
Really? Like, that would be fucking miserable.
It was bad.
Like,
the other ones were on the cheek.
Yeah, like on the cheek I can deal with. Like, that's the meaty part. Like, if I'm going to get shot, I'm going to get Forrest Gumped. I want fucking full cheek. And then I don't want crack.
I had a can of Copenhagen, and so I had given it... We'd been using it, all of us, right? Because nicotine's an appetite suppressant, and it's just something to keep you going. And so I had taken mine out, and for those of you that don't know, the spit plus dip gives that liquid. That liquid naturally helps fight against the pain from stings. It's really cool. And so I had to rub dirty old dip from my lip on my ass, almost in the hole. So, but it helped. It helped to feel a lot better. I'd do it again.
If somebody told you that peeing on it would have made it feel better, would you have let somebody pee on your fucking hole?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Just ask.
Yep. 100%. It hurt a lot. It was bad. Those things were huge too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all.
Those fuckers. All right, but we're at time, Matt.
It has been an hour. It's been a glorious hour.
It's been a fast hour.
It really has. Like, you think about talking about COVID, and you don't think you have that much to say. And then it really kind of starts boiling out of you because like all the political views and things like that everybody's like so politicized and over talked about, but it's like, fuck you. That's it. Fuck you.
Fuck you. Fuck all of you. Except for the ones that actually like watching this. You guys are awesome. Obviously.
Well, unless you disagree with our opinions, then fuck you.
Okay. Come back. Okay. All
right.
Any last words, buddy?
Stand up for your rights. There's a reason that our fucking forefathers gave us the rights, and there's a reason that they put them in the fuck. Because your First Amendment gives you the right to freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, and the Second Amendment gives you the right to protect your First Amendment. So, there's a reason they put them in that order. Remember that order. Fucking protect yourselves, protect your rights. You're God fucking fearing Americans, and God damn it, I love y'all.
Also, don't shit on a hornet's nest. Those are my final words.
Yeah, that's... All right, well, we all know how the ending goes. One doodle plus one doodle.
It's Wundle plus Wundle. Matt.
No, one doodle.
It's Wundle
plus one doodle.
Plus one doodle. It's Wundle plus Wundle equals